In the modern NFL, offenses have reigned supreme, from the dynamic Chiefs offense with Patrick Mahomes, to the Bucs with Tom Brady, and to the Chargers out in LA with Justin Herbert. All three teams have put up a ton of points and shown the ability to be able to score on pretty much every defense. However, that didn't happen this week when the Chargers faced the Baltimore Ravens. In this game, the Ravens stopped the Chargers in pretty much every single way. They took away the big plays, they shut down any semblance of a run game, and they were there to force long down and distances, turning this into a one-sided affair. In this video, I want to talk about how the Ravens did this, what was their game plan, and how did they turn a powerful offense into a smoldering wreck of a team. Before we begin though, if you could do me a huge favor and like and subscribe to this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. So anyways, to start this video, one of the first things the Ravens did was they shut down the run game. During this match, Ekeler and Joshua Kelley combined for a total of 14 yards on 10 carries. 6 of those carries came on first down, and they went for a whopping 9 yards. Neither found space to run. Up to this point in the season, the Chargers were averaging just about 4 yards on the ground. However, there was nothing in this one. Any sort of zone run was met with penetration in the backfield, any sort of backside duo concept was stopped at the line of scrimmage, and any sort of power or trap play were all shut down too. From my film study, what I saw was that the Ravens used a variety of over fronts in this game. With the 3-tech defensive tackle on the strong side and the nose tackle on the weak side, the Chargers were unsuccessful at moving their double teams down the field. A big reason for this was the play of Calais Campbell. He was dominant in this game. He shedded blocks to get into the backfield, he stood up well to any double team, and he made it much easier for the rest of his defense to win their blocks since they had one-on-ones based on their alignment. Meanwhile, this opened up Patrick Queen and Josh Bynes to flow through their gaps and not allow any runs to break into secondary. With a poor run game, the Chargers were forced to throw the ball on longer down distances. In this game, their average third down came at over 8 yards to go. Historically, when you're in a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9, you convert those at roughly 40% of the time. In this game, the Chargers were only able to convert on 3 of their 12 attempts. One was on the first drive, while the other 2 happened after the Chargers were already down by 17 points or more. Needless to say, this definitely stalled their drives. Before we look at our first play, I want to give a huge shout out to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this week's video. So growing up, cereal was always one of my favorite meals as a kid. However, as I've gotten older and more aware of the amount of sugar that most cereals have, I pretty much cut it out entirely in my diet. Seriously, this was so hard because I love cereal. The good news is that I found Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is a keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and a low-carb meal that actually tastes amazing. It's honestly too good to be true. It comes in a variety of flavors, with the best-selling 4 featured in the flavor variety pack. You have cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. Magic Spoon is a high-protein cereal where there are 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each 140-calorie serving. Go ahead and click the link below and use promo code GOLD at checkout to get $5 off any order. Magic Spoon is so confident with their product that it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee, so definitely use my promo code GOLD and check it out today. Before the break, I mentioned I wanted to look at our first play. Let's look at this one that happened in the first quarter. This happened on 2nd and 11 after a 1-yard loss by Ekeler in first down. The Chargers are in shotgun. They're running a run-pass option featuring outside zone from the running back while the backside is running double slants. The way this play works is that Herbert will read the number of defenders inside the box and determine how he should run this play. If there are 5 or fewer, then he will hand the ball to Ekeler. Meanwhile, if there are 6 or more inside the box, as is the case here, then Herbert will fake the handoff and look to the backside of this play. He wants to hit his inside receiver, who should be breaking on his slant at the left hash. If he's not open, then Herbert should move on to the outside slant, then throw it away if none of these players are open. Let's look closely what happened here. After the snap, Herbert faked the handoff to his running back based on the number of defenders inside the box. Next, he looked to his inside receiver. I want you to pay close attention to number 6 Patrick Queen of the defense. He was awesome on this play. He keyed the eyes of the quarterback, and since he didn't overcommit to the run fake, he's able to flow backside to get into Herbert's lane. Also, since the defense is in cover 1 man with a single high safety, this allows the Ravens to bracket the offense's receivers. Nobody's open, so Herbert under pressure is forced to throw the ball away. The key takeaway I want you to understand from this play was how technically sound this defense was. They were all in the correct spot at the right time, they were all sound against the run, which forced the backside look, and then their linebackers and cornerbacks didn't allow any receiver to get open. This was an excellent defensive play. This level of defensive prowess happened throughout the entire game. The Ravens made every single play difficult. They basically shut down all the easy stuff that the Chargers have relied upon in the past. The run-pass options ended like the play I showed before. Their play-action bootlegs, where they had a receiver in the flat to gain yards after the catch, all went for pretty much nothing, and since this defense forced longer and down and distances like I said earlier, the Ravens were able to blitz in order to pressure the quarterback. they were able to pressure the quarterback on 26% of Herbert's throws. While that number isn't high, as it's actually within normal allowances for this offensive line, the blitzes definitely threw everybody out of rhythm. There always seemed to be somebody in the backfield, especially when they went to play action. For the Chargers, this posed a major problem. The blitzes effectively neutered their play action game because they always had somebody there to shut it down. Now, after shutting down the run plays and the play action concepts, the Chargers were pretty much forced into being one-dimensional. They were already down 14-0 by their third drive, and they were forced to use many of their standard shotgun concepts to attack this defense. Earlier in this game, the Ravens used a ton of man coverage. They played a lot of cover 1 man and cover 2 man in the first quarter. By the time the second quarter rolled around, which sounds ridiculous because they were already up by 14, the Ravens then shifted into using more zone. They had the lead in those longer down and distances, so they used a lot of cover 2 and cover 3. This pretty much stalled this offense. Cover 3, for example, was used on 37% of Herbert's throws. On those plays, the Ravens allowed a whopping 1.4 yards per attempt. So, as you can see, they were extremely effective in that coverage. We have to give a lot of credit to Patrick Queen, Marlon Humphrey, and Deshaun Elliott, who all played very well in this game. Looking more at Herbert, one thing I noticed was that he seemed out of sync as compared to his normal. For example, on his ISO throws to the outside, which have been his bread and butter throw all season, these passes always seem to be in the wrong place. Now, I'm not going to blame Herbert for everything as none of his receivers could get open, but Herbert definitely wasn't good either. Honestly, this game was the epitome of a team loss, as there were some key drops too. The question I had, and we'll use this thought to wrap up this video, comes down to whether or not other teams can use this game as a blueprint. Have we solved the Chargers' offense? In my opinion, that answer is no. Sure, there are some takeaways, like how aggressive the Ravens were in their zone coverage drops to stay close to the line of scrimmage, since the Chargers love using crossing routes. Also, I loved how they blitzed off the edge to help in run support and to slow down the play action game too. However, I just can't see every team out there executing this exact game plan. Not every defense has a Calais Campbell. Not every defense gets an all-star performance from one of their inside linebackers in Patrick Queen. And not every defense has an outside cornerback like Marlon Humphrey who can shut down a player like Mike Williams. He trailed him for the vast majority of this game in man coverage, and he did such a fantastic job. And on top of all this, the Ravens had a very good free safety performance as well. Deshaun Elliott was excellent in this game too. In my opinion, this was just an extremely well-coached defense, and they did a great job matching up to this offense all game. Well, that's all I have for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Do me a favor and like and subscribe to the channel, as well if you're going to support me directly, follow the link to my Patreon. Thanks again, and you can find me on Twitter at SamuelRGold.